Why political fault lines have deepened between center and Supreme Court? Do we need a separate collegium to appoint the election commissioners? So in recent times, the Supreme Court and central government have locked in a severe deadlock, and the central government have been raising concerns on the Supreme Court over the appointment of judges, and the Supreme Court is raising concerns on the central government over the appointment of the election commissioners as they are politically biased. So for the past 3 to 4 months already there exists a deadlock between the government and central government, from the government and the Supreme Court from the beginning, but for the past 2 months the tussle have deepened further. So first we can see the collegium system and the fault lines over the collegium system. So now the judges of the Supreme Court is appointed by the collegium. I mean the collegium is the consists of 5 judges. One is the Chief Justice of India and another 4 senior most judges of Collegium. Supreme Court constitutes the Collegium. But our Indian Constitution says that according to Article 124 of Indian Constitution, only President have the power to appoint the judges of Supreme Court and High Court, and they can consult with Supreme Court judges and High Court judges, but the sole appointment of the judges of Supreme Court and High Court and the transfer of Supreme Court and High Court is vested with the President. But what happened is subsequently after the 80s, there occurred a deadlock between government and the Supreme Court. Like Supreme Court have said, over the appointment of the judges of the Supreme Court, government plays a major role, because even though President is vested with the power of appointment, the names of the judges are recommended by the government, central government. So central government had a domination in the judiciary. So to overcome this, the judges, the Supreme Court judges in those times have created a collegium system. The first judge's case, second judge's case and third judge's case subsequently led to the establishment of the collegium system. So in 1998 till now, the collegium is responsible for the appointment of the judges of Supreme Court and High Court and the transfer of Supreme Court and High Court. Only India is the only country in the world having this collegium system. Even this collegium is not mentioned in our Indian Constitution as of now. So collegium system is a kind of opaque system, and the internal decisions what are all taken by the judges is not transparent, and there is an accusation that there is nepotism in the appointment of judges appointment, judges transfer, and even only a certain family is dominating the judiciary system is also another accusation. So to overcome this, in 2014, central government have proposed another commission, I mean NJAC, National Judicial Appointment Commission. To replace the collegium, they have introduced in it. So the National Judicial Appointment Commission will perform the collegium the central have proposed, and the members who are all under the NJAC is like the 3 judges, the topmost judges, Chief Justice of India and another 2 senior most judges, and then the Prime Minister, leader of opposition, 2 eminent person regarding to the judiciary, obviously President and the Law Minister, who are all constitute this NJAC, and they will recommend the judges appointment and recommend the judges transfer. But it was opposed by the collegium system, because collegium system is saying it will bring a kind of partiality in this, and the collegium system is having the sole power to appoint the judges. So if they were against the NJAC and they strike down the 99th amendment of NJAC, and that time the political tussle started again regained between the center and the Supreme Court till it is continuing. But what happened in the recent month is, like the present the Law Minister Kiran Rijiju said that Supreme Court is the only reason for the judicial pendency of cases in the country and the judicial appointments. So now there is more like vacancy over the judicial appointments, and many judges were not appointed to the concerned Supreme Court and the lower courts. So the central government is accusing them the collegium for this, because they are accusing that if NJAC commission was there, the appointment will be smooth and it will be good and there will be no nepotism kind of thing. But the collegium system is attacking the government, that the collegium system will give the names recommended names to the central government and they will give to the president. But after recommending the names, then central government is still like they are not speeding up the process like that. The collegium is accusing the central government. So there exists a tussle between the central government and collegium, I mean the Supreme Court, in this matter. So at present, Supreme Court have took another issue against the central government over the appointment of the election commissioners. So basically the election commission constitutes of three members. One is chief election commissioner and another two is election commissioner. So during this time in November 21, the central government have proposed a name for the election commissioner. So they have proposed Arun Goyal's name. Arun Goyal was the present sitting secretary of the central government. The sitting secretary of the central government, and he took the voluntary retirement, and then subsequently after few days he was appointed as the election commissioner. So Supreme Court have expressed his displeasure over the appointment of Arun Goyal as the election commissioner because he was the sitting secretary and he took his voluntary retirement. So Supreme Court have raised concern and said whether there is a politicization over the appointment of the election commissioners, because the central government is the government which is the consulting and the putting forward the name of the election commissioners, and at last president is signing. So the central government have a large domination over the appointment of election commissioners or chief election commissioners in recent times. I mean after the 1990s itself there exists a consensus over it, but now it have become more and more specific issue and the central government is largely questioning this issue. So for this there exists another solution, and even 1990 some commission have recommended, and according to 255th law commission report they have recommended that a separate collegium should be established to appoint the election commissioners. This collegium is not related to the current Supreme Court collegium. It is completely opposite to this. So in this collegium, the 255th law commission report says that they can include the Prime Minister, Leader of Opposition, Chief Justice of India, and then Lok Sabha Speaker. So these members can consult with each other and they can propose their names, because when these members propose their names, it will be somehow neutral. So after that, the National Commission for Reviewing the Working of Constitution have also recommended this kind of collegium, and they also included Prime Minister, Leader of Opposition of Lok Sabha, Leader of Opposition of Rajya Sabha, and then the Lok Sabha Speaker, Deputy Chairman of Lok Sabha. So they are also put forth the idea of collegium. So in this matter, I mean over the appointment of the election commissioners, collegium will be a nice solution to overcome the politicization of the appointment of the election commissioners. So this is how the present situation exists between both sides, I mean the Supreme Court and the central government. So day by day the conflict between Supreme Court have deepened in recent times. So let's see what are the developments will happen in the future. Thank you.